French and Stone note that although uninformed skeptics may think otherwise, it seems that people who claim to have experienced something paranormal are typically neither lying nor insane. That said, the history of parapsychology is also a history of fraud and hoaxes, going back to the very beginnings of spiritualism. But still, scientific skeptics who actually investigate these claims agree that the people who make paranormal claims are, for the most part, sincere in their belief. It just doesn't mean that they are correct. Hi, my name is Jouni Vilkka, and this video is part of my series on Anomalistic Psychology, mostly based on the book by French and Stone I keep mentioning. If you're interested in psychology and the paranormal, then welcome to my channel, TFF, Teacher from Finland. Don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. French and Stone note that psychopathology isn't about simply categorizing people as either normal or clinically insane. That there is no easy way to do that, as all people sometimes show some symptoms of pathology. Even hallucinations are surprisingly common among the so-called normal population. Thus, we are forced, again, to accept a continuum instead of clear and distinct categories. Reality is messy like that. French and Stone discuss the findings of psychologists regarding several different traits, and I will give a short summary of them here. Neuroticism is a personality trait, but one connected to the tendency to suffer from anxiety, anger, guilt, depression, hostility, self-consciousness, and impulsivity. That is not a list of my symptoms, by the way, even if it sounds far too familiar to me. Neuroticism is also related to beliefs in the paranormal that have to do with powerful external forces acting on the individual, like belief in astrology, precognition, spiritualism, and general superstitions. Psychoticism refers to the tendency to exhibit traits associated with psychosis. Schizophrenia, the loss of contact with reality, is an extreme example of psychosis. It is connected to belief in psi. Curiously, it seems negatively related to belief in extraterrestrial life. Narcissism, the inflated sense of self-importance, is related to belief in phenomena having to do with controlling others or the environment, such as psi, precognition, ESP, and PK. A narcissist might plausibly believe that they can, or they might want to be able to use such powers. Persistent anxiety is also connected to belief in astrology, the supernatural, magical thinking, and paranormal belief in general. This might be due to such beliefs comforting and alleviating anxieties by providing an illusion of control. It is also possible that a high level of stress requires cognitive resources and so doesn't leave enough to rationally evaluate events. If true, it would imply that paranormal explanations would in general be more readily accepted under stress than otherwise. Some studies have found a small but still significant correlation between bipolar tendencies and paranormal belief. A bipolar person has manic phases where they may be euphoric, unable to sleep, being full of energy, which they will try to put to use in some unrealistic, grandiose plans. They may have hallucinations or other psychotic symptoms. In depressive phases, they can become totally apathetic, having no interest in anything. Despite their differences, both phases correlate slightly with paranormal beliefs. A stronger association exists between dissociativity and paranormal belief. especially in the case of highly elevated levels of dissociativity. This involves symptoms like derealization, where the person senses their surroundings in a dreamlike way as unreal, or depersonalization, where they feel disconnected from their body. Schizophrenia can be considered merely an extreme end of a continuum of a variable called schizotypy. It is possible to never have schizotypal experiences, but many people will have moderate experiences of this kind, which may seem strange. Magical thinking can be a symptom of schizophrenia, so the connection between a high score in schizotypy obviously correlates with paranormal belief. Full-blown schizophrenia involves lots of weird beliefs that are of the paranormal kind. Less extreme cases of schizotypy may involve aberrant perceptions or delusions, which have strong links to paranormal belief. French and Stone emphasize that most people who believe in the paranormal do not suffer from schizophrenia or other psychopathology, so schizotypy does not explain the existence of paranormal beliefs. Many people believe such things without having had personal weird experiences, so at least in those cases some other explanation must be found. Reality monitoring refers to the ability to distinguish between internal mental events, that is, imagination and other thought processes, and the external reality around us. Problems with reality monitoring in the domain of perception can cause the tendency to hallucinate, while problems in the memory domain make one particularly susceptible to false memories. It may now seem like mental problems might sometimes lead to paranormal or superstitious thinking, but it is also possible that such thinking actually protects from at least one type of mental problem: learned helplessness. When a person finds themselves in a very unpleasant situation where they have no real control over what happens, they might give up and stop even trying to find a solution or a way to escape the situation. This can lead to learned helplessness, where the person will remain helpless, not trying to improve things, even when the situation is changed so that escape would be feasible. A superstitious ritual, even though actually incapable of achieving anything in itself, may enable the believer to think that they are doing something to change the situation, keeping up hope. This seems to protect people against learned helplessness, thus providing a useful function for at least some superstitions, which might at least partly explain why such beliefs exist. Belief in life after death seems to similarly alleviate the fear of death, perhaps explaining the persistence of that belief. But while they may offer some benefits, French and Stone remind us, religious and paranormal beliefs are also often associated with distressing symptoms of psychopathology. So, mental problems do not really explain paranormal beliefs. Other explanations have been offered. Perhaps it has to do with mental development. That will be the subject of my next video in this series. Stand by for that one. Bye for now. If you wish to support my channel, please click thumbs up, subscribe and share my videos. Any comments on the videos would also be welcome.